Welcome to the Stream of Truth. I am Dr. Tassel Faith Shamebrook.
And I'm Sean Kelly.
And today we are talking about you deserve accepting rewards.
Yeah. And this video will be a premiere that's going live. I'll probably be on a plane or something around the time this, or just landing around the time this goes live. So we wanted to, I guess, get a recording out so that we had something. I don't know if it'll be as long as our normal things, but hopefully it helps people and hopefully people enjoy it.
Yes. So this topic came up for me, at least, over this past week, because I don't think I'm so great at rewarding myself or resting or rejuvenation. And it feels like something I'm kind of learning how to do for the first time.
Yeah, I don't think we know how to do that naturally. And also we're sort of taught that we have to accomplish stuff to receive reward. And then when we accomplish things, we tend to minimize them in order to either be humble or to, there's all these different barriers to our own allowing, I guess, of our reward or our comfort or whatever it is. I think that we're sort of taught that we are not innately deserving and we're not innately valuable and we're not innately we need to do things or we need to accomplish certain things in order for us to have worth here or to demonstrate our worth. Like we're not inherently valued in most of what the structures we're taught. And so I think as we start to like kind of realize that I haven't really been rewarding myself for anything throughout my years. I guess just sort of I think it's a big realization that people have. I certainly had that. I don't reward myself really. I chastise myself when I don't feel I did well. I say, okay, good job, but it's not enough if I do something well. Like, it's a good job, but do better, do more. Society tends to do that as well. So I think, it's a challenging sort of, I don't know what to call it. A challenging thing to accept, I think, is in ourselves. Like accept that we deserve to be rewarded. We don't have to do anything to deserve our like love from ourselves, I guess, is the best way to describe it. When we're rewarding ourselves, we're just showing ourselves some love for an appreciation for ourselves, right? So I think when we do that, we feel like egotistical as well too. So there's a whole bunch of different layers to this, I think.
Yeah, one of the things I was just thinking is it seems we're socialized to just maybe wait for external rewards to come in, for someone else to tell us, oh, now you can be rewarded and here is your reward. And we were indoctrinated into that orientation through the school system that would sort of grant us rewards if we performed up to par. Then we would get a reward. It might be, a grade or a sticker or maybe a pizza party or something. But just really taught to wait until someone else approves and, now you can have a reward from the external.
Yeah. And it should probably be said that there isn't necessarily anything inherently bad with, rewarding people when they do things that are good. But for whatever reason, we adopted a sort of skewed, odd kind of perspective of this thing where we have made it like we were saying earlier, just you have to do stuff, you have to accomplish certain things or reach certain levels of something in order to deserve it. So I don't think like that's. I think like the idea of rewarding people when they accomplish stuff is nice. The issue is that it, in our society anyway, it reinforces this idea that I have to accomplish stuff, and makes it more challenging for me to then give myself the care or reward myself, because I've been sort of shown through modeling that I don't deserve rewards until I accomplish certain things. And it reminds me of Mr. Rogers, for some reason, but he would always just say to the kids and stuff like, "You're special just for being you," and stuff like that. And you could say it's just a kids show or something, but I think those words are profound. And I think as like adults, we forget that you know that we have value. We forget of all these things, and then we don't honor our own value, and we don't reward ourselves. We don't take breaks when we feel our body calling for it. We don't, whatever it is, however it manifests for us. We tend to be more oriented towards slapping ourselves on the wrist, I think.
Yes. Yeah. The two things for me that stand out are that I've been taught I need to do something, achieve something, accomplish something in order to get a reward. And that usually, for me at least, I would wait for someone to garner that to me. I wouldn't think to do it to myself. So it just, all of it's like outside of us.
Yeah,
like,
that's even that
first,
we don't even consider
first of all, first of all, I have to like do something external that other people would think is worthy. And then someone else will tell me, oh, you can get a reward now.
Yeah. And then we start to think that's the only way to receive sort of love, really.
Yes.
We start to frame love around this as well. And then it's just the same sort of cycling of not feeling worthy until we've accomplished things and all that type of thing. It's really important that we let our parents and people off the hook that it reinforce this. They also were born into this. Like, it's not, we all created this together. So it's really important to we can take that victim side and be like, oh, look what they've done to me. They've made me forget that I have value. And while that is to a degree true, we chose to forget our value as well. We agreed to it. I only say that because I think as you realize this, you could feel a little resentful, or some people could feel a little resentful to the people that brought them up, or to the societal structures, or to the whatever it is. Really just humans were trying to reward behavior they considered well to continue, right? Like that's really humans are very sort of, what's the word? Like punish when bad, reward when good. Okay, now everyone's in alignment. But
in line. Now everyone's in line.
Right, yeah, everyone's in line. Everything is in order. And I don't know, it doesn't work like that. So we've lost track of all of that, and of like just the inherent value of sovereign beings that are here.
Yes.
And then we've lost track of our own value from all of that. And then now we're trying to remember it. And it takes, I think, constant sort of reminding, honestly, to break these patterns of thought that prohibit us. Because like you said, we don't even consider rewarding ourselves for things, usually. Occasionally we do. So it's not, it's not a blanket statement, but often we don't even think of it as a thing.
Yes. And it's interesting too, once you've in a way aged out of a lot of the societal milestones. So, okay, like high school graduation, college graduation, maybe marriage, maybe birth of your children, sort of in some ways after that, the societal milestones maybe become a little fewer and farther in between. And so the external rewards and ceremonies and all that sort of peter away. And then you're really
Yeah.
hopefully can start to source that from yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I think what you'll follow generally is this is a general awakening pathway. It's not the only one, but generally you'll do those things, a bunch of the milestones, whatever you think is going to allow you to be worth and enough for other people. You'll go do all those things, and you still won't be enough, because you are always enough. You're doing stuff to really just play out or play in this confusion that you're not worth things already. So you can't actually receive value from others. Like you can't actually, like you don't receive your value from them anyway. You only receive it from yourself. And it's a bit of a misconception that like another person, because it makes us feel good when they recognize us or give us a thing that we like or whatever. So we tie those things together, that they're giving us our value, they're seeing our value, but they're not really. That's kind of, they're not in those moments necessarily. But yeah, so we'll go through that entire pathway of milestone, job, school, job, family, kids, wife, husband, whatever it is. And then eventually we go, well, what else is there to do? Oh, I know, I'll further my school, or I'll become a CEO of something, or right? But it never actually ends. And it's because we're seeking value from a place that we can't get it. It's not their fault that we can't get value from them. That's just not how reality works. So when we try, we fail. Always. It always fails because it doesn't work like that. And so we'll see that, and then we'll go, well, then why am I doing all this? And that's the question. That's the question. So I think it's really important that when we're like approaching this area, that we like realize that literally the only way that I can truly be rewarded is through my own feelings about myself, through knowing myself, through my value, like seeing it. And until that happens, you'll always seek value elsewhere until because we want it, we think we need to find it, but it's just here waiting for us to accept it and recognize it in ourselves. It's right here. And I don't see my value so often that I'm just so intimately familiar with this sort of programming, I guess, my experience here. So this has been a big thing for me personally. But I think it's a very typical trajectory of any type of awakening where it may not be value that you feel that you're seeking. Maybe it's just love, or maybe it's recognition or, appreciation or whatever it is. It's all the same thing. You're just looking for love, more or less, and thinking it comes from outside. But the outside is only an echo of the love that's here. So if you don't have the love here, it can't echo, can't reflect to you. So, yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about sort of individual rewarding and self-worth, which is great. And then part of the reason this topic came up for me was because you and I had a lovely 36 hours last weekend where we kind of just put aside all of our business work and kind of all of our relationship things that we work through, and we just had fun. I would say for like 36 hours, and it felt almost felt like a little honeymoon or something to me.
Yeah, it was like a
Um,
vacation sort of, right?
yeah, yeah, it felt like a reward to the relationship, I guess. I think you and I are both very committed and focused on our growth as individuals and in our relationship, and sort of globally and as a parent and all these other roles. So it's in a way like hard to put away like the inner work or the self-reflection and all that stuff, or talking about our relationship even.
Yeah.
So somehow we were able to do that for like a day and a half. And it brought a lot of just it was just really fun. And it was sort of a reminder, oh, it felt like normal to me, I guess. I used that word. This feels so normal.
Yeah.
Sort of taking a step back from this constant awakening process and self-reflection and inner work. And it was just really fun. We went out to brunch with a friend, and then we went for a beautiful walk in a forest around a lake. And then we made popcorn, really good popcorn, um, and watched an interesting video on channeling. And yeah, it felt like such a nice reward.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what we were noticing, and one of the reasons that we wanted to do this video was because we felt that we had been sort of ignoring the part of us, I think, that wants or calls for some rest sometimes and some just comfort or peace. And I think we were being pulled along by some of our urgencies and things and desires and goals and whatever they are. And I think we just sort of forgot to keep a balance a little bit between all the stuff we're doing. Like, you know, it could sound silly to some people, but the ascension stuff that we're doing on our own as we like ascend and awaken and become conscious and remember ourselves is lots of work. It's not like it doesn't have to be hard necessarily, but it does take focus and thought and feeling and pain and things, and you know, it's a lot of stuff going on. Um, and just that alone, right? Like, is a lot for any being to awaken from sort of a dream that they've been in for 30, 40, 50 years. Uh,
Yeah.
Longer, in fact, most likely, um, through other lifetimes and stuff, right? We're forgetting or we're remembering and transmuting things so deep within us that we have to go to these places that are like hard. They're hard. And so what life does is it moves us around and brings us to these places and helps us experience all of these sort of uncomfortable things in different ways, and comfortable things too. But I think sometimes we can like get so stressed out that we're not paying attention to like the moment, that we're not paying attention to like what we actually want to do in the moment or right now. Like, you know, like we make ourselves work or we make ourselves do this or that, so that we can feel more comfortable. I think if sometimes we just instead just gave ourselves permission to sit quietly and be comfortable with what we're doing, or walk around a lake or whatever, and just like try to just let go of all the stuff for a bit. Um, I think it recharges our batteries a lot. And so I think it's important.
Yeah. And I think as a couple, it's also just really helpful and important to just, it sounds like such a cliche, but it's so true, just to have like quality time. That phrase is a little, maybe it's not quite the right phrase, but just to step outside everything you're working on and clearing and all that, just to have some fun together, just like as friends.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're freaking out about stuff, uh, stuff will still be there when you're done your little escapade. Um, and you might even find that you can move through it a lot easier because you've taken a break from it a little bit. Like come back a little fresher, a little more energized, a little like more grounded. Um,
Absolutely.
like sometimes I think we just need to relax and then it'll be fine. Like we just need to settle down, honestly. Um, and we don't know how. That's the issue. We don't really know how to settle down sometimes. So I guess that's my recommendation is just to like make yourself settle down somehow. Figure out what settles you down and do that. And if you find yourself all stressed out, like you're not supposed it. We do that all to ourselves. That's not. It's not part of like uh, the awakening process, like stress and difficulty and all that. That's not so much a intrinsic part of things necessarily. We do that to ourselves for some reason. Um, but we've chosen to do that here in this expression as humans. We've chosen to be stressed out, anxious things, and um, it's not always that way. But that's what we've chosen in this expression of the Creator, and um, I think literally we just have to not do that. Um, and
Something,
it's I don't know. There's a different answer I think for everyone to not do it, and all I can sort of offer is like figure out what helps you, like what do you like. It's almost that simple. Like what do you enjoy, and just like go
yeah.
do that. If it's painting, or walking, or swimming, or having a bath, like whatever the hell it is, just go do it. You're freaking out about the bills and the thing, and the kids have this thing, and whatever's going on, just go have a bath, um,
Yeah.
and just sit
Something,
with it a bit. But try, like try not to distract yourself too much. Like try to just be, and like I mean, unless putting on a funny thing on Netflix makes you at peace. If that helps, then great, do that. Um, for me, I find those types of things just distract me, and then I haven't really rested so much. I've just been distracted. And so I think you want to try to distinguish the difference between resting and distracting. But other than that, do what feels good, basically.
yeah, something that I'm doing, this is new for me, is that I'm scheduling some fun things to do during the week. Um, Usually I kind of just work most of the time and take care of my kids, or sometimes you're here. Um, but I'm trying to do things differently. So I really like to dance. And there's some swing dances around town every Friday night, sometimes Saturday night. So I've written them in my calendar as something fun for me to go do. And it feels really important for me to go do that. It feels maybe like the most important thing I could do, period. And I haven't ever really had that orientation before. But it's come to this that it feels like that's really important to do fun things. Yeah, even as a very busy single mom, entrepreneur, etc.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't even know that, like after my awakening, I started going to the clubs by myself, just
mhm.
dancing at the clubs. all by myself. And like, if people would try to talk to me, I'd like pretend I didn't know English and things like that. Um, and just do weird things, like, because I didn't really want to talk to anyone or do anything. And um, but it was a big step for me, I think, to just like go off on my own and do something fun in the world by myself. That wasn't for me. Like, I used to play video games or something stuff like that, and that's, that's fine. But again, that's more of a distraction that occupies the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking more about, and there's nothing wrong with distracting yourself sometimes. Like, we got to stop like attacking ourselves constantly over everything we do. Um, Sometimes it's fine to distract ourselves. Like, it's fine. But sometimes I'm saying that, the distraction doesn't usually give us more peace and make us approach anything with a better or more aligned view. It tends to just delay the stress. Like, the stress isn't gonna. It's not like we've re-energized necessarily, unless we feel that way. And of course, for
Yeah, it seems like if
each
we can
person.
get into like a flow state, um, whatever you do that can take you there, where you're
Hmm.
just
Yeah, flow state.
sort of, yeah, just connected.
Yeah, something creative, or and if
Yes,
a game
or
gets you into a flow state and it feels like you
yes,
feel like rejuvenated after, as long as you feel rejuvenated and like you can approach the thing better, that's
yes,
really all that
yes.
matters.
Yeah, for me, I think sometimes I'll look at my phone, Facebook or something, and that doesn't feel very rejuvenating. It's more, I think, distracting.
Yeah, and I think actually Facebook and stuff tends to be more stressful for our ego as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, hey, look at all these people and all the amazing things they're doing, and I'm sitting here frustrated that I have to make stew, and whatever it is. But yeah, it Facebook is like a tool for the ego to like cling on, and
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
least that's what I found in my experience. I found it to just be like a little, there's great stuff on there too. So it's not like a blanket statement I'm trying to make, but yeah, like Facebook is not. Yeah, I would say it's probably a distraction, but it's like it's gonna actually agitate our ego, or our false identity, our false self is gonna get all. It's actually probably gonna make things a bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
would guess, because we're we're inviting ourselves to look at other things to compare ourselves to,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
could do that if we want to, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And some comparisons good, so that we can observe ourselves that way. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually, yeah, eventually we should try not to do that. And if we can use Facebook without doing that, then that's great. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, something that we feel better afterwards. We feel rejuvenated,
Yeah, whatever it is.
energized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to try this new practice of like scheduling fun things to do, and really making it a point to keep those appointments with fun.
Yeah, it seems so simple, and it is. It is. But I think, there'll be more than a few people that probably watch this that go, "Oh yeah, I really don't reward myself very much either," or I do on occasion, right? But
Mm-hmm.
um, or I get something for myself, and then I go, "Oh, I'll just call it a reward." Um, we do that stuff sometimes too, where we're like, we want to justify a thing we want or something,
Yeah,
so then
I'm
we'll just
curious.
reward ourselves that way. But
And as a parent, I'm curious if you have this experience. Like, so often I'll take my kids to do something fun, or eat something or buy something, and often I don't do it for me. Like, I'll buy them something but I won't buy myself something, or I'll get them something to eat but I won't get anything, or I'll take them to do something fun but it isn't really that fun for me, and I don't do anything for myself. So I don't know, do you have that experience too as a parent, or is it different?
yeah, I have a similar experience. Um, but Yeah, I don't know. I don't notice. I'd have to think about that a bit more. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I do that. I do that for sure. Like I'll get the kids food and I won't eat and stuff. But I don't know why I'm doing that necessarily. I don't know what that is. I just do whatever there. I haven't had much of an experience of noticing a problem with any of my stuff there or feeling any issues come up then. But totally probable, I'd say, that I'm just trying to sort of people please in a way, right? I'm trying to show love
Yeah.
to others as best I can,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
um, I'm sure I forget to do it to myself in those moments,
Yes.
um, and in many moments, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
almost,
think we can hold both. We can do both simultaneously. I don't think it's one or the other. Um, I just think we have
yeah.
to
And
realize it.
I think there's some like in a way unspoken or maybe is spoken idea around a parent, around a mom or a dad, that they're very, very just serving towards the children and a bit self-sacrificial. And to me, the word like non-person comes up. Like I'm not, like I can treat myself like I'm not even really a person when I'm mothering. Like it's just, oh, what do they need? How can I help them? How can I reward them or give them love? And it's almost
Yeah,
like my person beingness just disappears. So yeah, so I just noticed that a lot too, that and I think I might almost feel like guilty if I'm rewarding myself around my children or something. Like I'm not supposed to do that. It's about them. It's not about me. But
yeah. It's like it takes away from what we're giving them, almost,
yeah,
or
when it should
seems
just,
to.
yeah, when it seems like common sense, it should just be everybody matters and everybody gets a
Everyone
reward.
gets
And
treats.
yeah, exactly. Not just the kids. Um, Yeah. So I don't know. There's just like a lot of this messaging towards us about, uh, I think just like forgetting ourselves, just forgetting ourselves.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. We that's all I think we have to do is be a little gentler to ourselves
yeah.
and try to remember to give ourselves things we enjoy sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think this is a skill that, or a practice that I'm working, but just listening to the guidance, just listening to your body and your inner wisdom and your guidance directing you, oh, what it wants.
Yeah.
And just a quick example. I think the weekend before you came, I had so much guidance to go buy myself new pajamas. And it's funny because that's sort of a thing with me. Like I tend to not buy stuff like that for myself. And it felt really important. It felt really big. And the thinking mind didn't quite understand it. Like pajamas right now? Oh, all right. Um, and I did end up buying myself pajamas. And it did feel like such a reward. And I really appreciated them. And I hadn't bought new pajamas for myself in I don't know how long, years and years. And so I followed the guidance with that. And it felt great. It felt really, really rewarding and loving towards myself.
Yeah, I think if we just take a second and ask ourselves, how can I reward myself for being here?
Hmm.
Right? Like that's and I think if we listen, we'll get something. Something will come up.
Yeah. I think this maybe sounds obvious, but the number one thing is to take care of oneself.
Yeah.
And that seems sometimes challenging to do, or sometimes that we're being selfish or self-centered or something. But yeah, our number one job is to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much.
Yep.
Um Yeah, I mean, everything that we do to recognize our divinity is serving everyone as well.
Yes.
So, whenever we're like looking back on an old moment that I don't know, let's say we behaved poorly or others behaved poorly, but we're looking back on that moment with love and forgiveness and acceptance, what we're doing is cleansing that energy, that like imprinted energy in our field.
Hmm.
We're cleansing that, and we're doing that collectively across the earth. And so whenever we're being loving to ourselves in, I don't know, in ways that are, let's say, virtuous, like ways that are not like malicious to others, or pushing others down so that we can love ourselves, like these types of things, those types of behaviors are a little different, right? Those are serving the self in opposition of others, in a way. And so we can serve ourselves as the creator by honoring ourselves without being, you know, um, not being of positive service to others type polarity, or that pathway that we talk about. Um, Remembering the divinity within is is a service to self and others, all in one. So any activity of loving yourself is good.
Amen to
Not that there's a
that.
good or bad, but I just mean loving yourself is what God would do. Is the best way I could try to say that. That's what the divine does. Loves itself. So
Yeah.
how could that be wrong, right? It's not.
Yes.
It's not wrong.
Yes.
So we have to like just reassess a little bit, how we limit ourselves in our expressions to ourselves by accident usually.
Yep.
Yep.
And it seems like that's the point of the ascension process, is to embody our God self, including just loving ourselves unconditionally. Yeah. And others.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Should
Thanks everyone
we?
for watching. We appreciate you very much, and sorry that this one wasn't live, and sorry that I look kind of like I'm in a cave somewhere or something. We're doing it at night, and I'm a little tired, and I'll be on the plane tomorrow, but I'm sure probably Tassel will be on watching this
Mm-hmm.
with you. So thank you for watching, and if you want to check out our Patreon stuff, we have that below in the link, and we'll be doing another course on next week, Thursday, right?
Yeah. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. Next Thursday.
And yeah, so I look forward to that.
Awesome. So much love to everybody, and hope you are profoundly rewarding yourselves a lot.
Take care.
Bye.